What part of your life needs to be more firmly built on certain foundational truths right now? Every one of us, um, at some point, we come face to face with, well, the unpredictable nature of life.
It's unavoidable.
We often talk about these times as storms, sudden, unexpected things, powerful forces that feel like they could just dismantle everything we hold dear.
Right. They really shake things up.
But beneath all that, beneath the shifting sands, there's this possibility, a chance to establish a bedrock for your existence.
A real foundation.
Exactly, firm ground, something unyielding that lets you stand with confidence, no matter how hard the winds blow or the waters rise.
Mhm.
And this exploration today, it's really about understanding how we cultivate that kind of life, one that endures because it's built on something, well, truly unshakable.
It's a powerful idea, isn't it? And it's not new. This concept, cultivating resilience, it's been shown through history, maybe most vividly with that old metaphor, the house built on rock.
Ah, yes, I know the one.
It's found in different wisdom traditions, ancient texts, even philosophy. And it just perfectly captures the huge difference between just hearing principles,
Right.
hearing them,
Right.
and actually actively living them, putting them into practice.
So the rock isn't just like literal stone.
No,
Yeah.
no. The rock stands for those core principles, the foundational beliefs, the truths that offer real, unwavering support.
Okay.
And the house, well, that's your life, your being, your character, what you're building every day.
And the storms.
The storms are just life.
Yeah.
The trials, the difficulties, the crises that, let's be honest, they will come up. It's not an if, it's really a when.
Okay, so let's unpack that
Yeah.
distinction, because it feels absolutely crucial. Hearing versus applying.
It really is.
I mean, we live in an age where information is everywhere. We can hear profound ideas constantly, books, talks, online.
Nonstop.
But there's this huge gap, isn't there, between just taking it in, absorbing it, and actually applying it.
Right.
Letting it shape how you act, how you react.
Exactly. A massive gap.
Hearing is the first step, obviously. But true security, that real resilience, it only comes through while putting it into practice, living it out.
Precisely. You know, think about it like learning any skill. Mindfulness, for example.
Okay.
You can read dozens of books, understand the theory perfectly, but until you actually sit down, do the breathing, observe your thoughts.
Until you do it.
Right. Until you do it, the knowledge is just theoretical. It hasn't become part of you.
It's not integrated.
Not at all. And it's
Yeah.
the same with these foundational truths. Just nodding along, agreeing intellectually, that's not enough to build that strong house.
So the wise builder isn't just the one with the plans.
No,
Yeah.
they're the one actually laying the bricks, mixing the mortar, making sure that foundation is deep and solid. Like one ancient text says, those who hear and then put into practice, they are like the wise builder.
Unshaken by the storms.
Because their foundation is solid, built on rock, not, shifting sand.
And that's such a key point, often missed, I think. A solid foundation doesn't mean the storms just bypass you.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's not a magic shield.
Difficulties don't disappear. Life's challenges, whether it's a sudden flood of money problems or a torrent of relationship issues or some personal crisis,
They will hit.
they will strike. So the core message isn't build this and avoid trouble.
No, not at all. It's more like build this right, and when trouble comes.
You won't fall apart.
Exactly. It guarantees you won't collapse when they hit. That's the promise.
That's a profound difference, isn't it? Because we're human. We feel things.
Of course. It's not about avoiding the emotional impact. When the ground shakes, you feel it. There's going to be emotional shaking, grief, fear, anxiety.
All of that is natural.
Completely natural responses. But that foundation, the spiritual or philosophical one you've built, it gives you firmness at a deeper level.
Okay, so it stops you from just crumbling.
Right. It prevents you from being utterly destroyed, washed away. Instead, you endure, you stand firm, you endure with confidence, as the phrase goes.
Maintaining stability even when things feel chaotic.
Exactly. It's not about being cold or unfeeling, but grounded. Grounded enough to process the challenge and come through it, often, actually, stronger.
And this isn't just theory, is it? We see this play out. There are real stories.
Oh, absolutely. Real people, real situations.
Like, I remember hearing about a couple in Colorado. This was back in 2023. They faced, a perfect storm.
Okay.
Unexpected job loss for both of them. And then, almost right away, huge medical bills for their child. Just
Yeah.
one thing after another.
Wow. That's intense pressure. Enough to make anyone panic.
Totally. You could see how someone might just spiral or freeze up. But this couple, instead of being overwhelmed, they sort of instinctively went back to practices they had built up over years.
The things they'd already established.
Yeah. Through intentional growth, community involvement, they didn't have to invent something new in the crisis. They just activated what was already there.
That makes sense. Resilience research often shows that, doesn't it? People with
Yeah.
consistent practices cope better. So what do?
Well, they focused again on prayer and reflection, turning inward, connecting with their values, seeking guidance beyond just the immediate chaos.
Grounding themselves.
And they got really disciplined with budgeting, not out of panic, but as a way of being responsible, even when things were scarce.
Practical application right there.
And, crucially, they leaned on their support system, their church, their community. Not just taking help, but that mutual support thing, giving and receiving.
That connection is often a key principle itself.
Definitely. And their own words about it were so powerful. They said something like, "Our foundation held.
Wow.
We were shaken emotionally, yes, profoundly, but spiritually, our core beliefs, our sense of purpose, we stood firm."
That's it, isn't it? A clear example. The practices become the ground beneath your feet when everything else is shaking.
It wasn't about not feeling fear, but having something deeper to hold on to through the fear.
That story shows endurance against external blows. But there's another side to this too. Sticking to your values, even when it costs you.
Ah, yes. When doing the right thing is the hard thing.
Exactly. Think about this high school senior in Georgia, also in 2023, very bright student, got this amazing scholarship offer to a top university.
Sounds like a dream come true.
On the surface, absolutely, a clear path forward. But as she looked closer,
Something wasn't right.
she realized that accepting it, the terms, the environment, it would mean compromising her core values, things she deeply believed in.
Okay, that's a tough spot for a young person.
Incredibly tough. It meant turning away from what looked like a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Security, prestige, all of it. But she did it. She chose alignment with her principles.
Wow. That takes courage.
It really does.
Yeah.
Turning down that scholarship, facing that uncertainty, that's the rock of integrity in action, you know? It's easy to have values when it costs nothing.
The real test is when there's pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she turned it down. And what happened wasn't a long struggle, surprisingly. Her trust in her values, her sticking to them, it led somewhere unexpected. Pretty soon after, another door opened. A different school. Yes. And this school not only offered her full tuition, but it was a much better fit, a stronger support system, an environment that actually matched her values.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It shows how standing firm on principles, even when it seems counterintuitive.
It can lead to unforeseen positive outcomes. It's like that commitment to integrity creates its own kind of opportunity.
That idea of alignment you mentioned. Security isn't controlling everything outside.
No, it's cultivating that internal compass that guides you through the chaos.
You know, it makes me think these foundational truths, they don't have to be identical for everyone, do they?
Not at all. They can come from spiritual traditions, sure, but also from philosophy, from science about human well-being, from deeply thought-out personal ethics.
So for one person, it might be a specific faith commitment. For another,
It might be a philosophical principle like embracing fate, or radical self-responsibility focusing only on your response, or core virtues like honesty, compassion.
the source can vary.
Exactly, but the function is the same, to provide a stable reference point, a fixed point to navigate from when everything else feels like it's moving.
And the goal, the reason we even talk about this, is to be able to endure with confidence.
Yes, not a naive confidence, but a deep inner knowing.
Knowing that no matter what pressures come, your core, your essential self, will remain intact.
When your life is built on that rock, integrated principles, you don't tremble. You navigate the floods, the torrents. You maintain your integrity.
Your stability.
The ultimate aim is, well, to grow that resilient, grounded way of being, a life that isn't just pushed around by trends or external validation.
A life that stands firm at its core.
Exactly. Stands firm no matter the storm. It's the difference between just surviving adversity and actually flourishing through it.
Learning from it even.
Yes. Learning, growing stronger, emerging with a deeper sense of your own capacity to endure.
So, as we reflect on all this, let's come back to that initial thought, that question for each of us. What part of your life needs to be more firmly built on foundational truths right now?